After what happened here yesterday, Rossi did not get away too well. He's got work to do already. We're going into turn 9 here. Miller, it is that leads. Maverick Vinales sees a gap.
Vinales has got the inside line. Turn number 11, so Vinales now hits the Honda.
Rossi's on the move. He's made a couple of decent moves. Fabio Quartararo is really struggling back. He's dropped down 2 places. Onto the surface.
Back to the apex. He's 5th. So Miller used the power of the Ducati. Miller though lost the front. Coming through turn.
He could be off. What's happened to Quartararo, by the way?
He's had a nightmare. He's had an absolute nightmare. 7-10.
Marc Marquez knows his best chance of beating Vinales is if he can get in the slipstream. He's got to try and deal with Jack Miller first. Miller's
the only man on that lap that was in the 59s. Still, Marquez has not been able to find his way through.
Now to get past Miller.
This is how he thought Filippi was going to play out 7 days ago. Better late than never, I guess.
Better late than. He sees the door open. He goes through on Jack Miller, but on the cutback, Miller's going to have the slipstream.
Loses the speed, the acceleration of the Ducati. It's going to be tight, you know, Marquez.
Mir's just been given the information he needs. Great lap from grabbing his ticket to say bye-bye.
That's Pecco Bagnaia, does he? He's just fiddling with his fingers, grabs the mask. He really doesn't know which screen to look at.
So he's not yet been able to find a way through on Joan a few weeks ago, that when he's out front and he's in the mood and he's in the rhythm, comes Valentino Rossi. There's Morbidelli, there's Rins, there's Quartararo. He's still in 8th.
Find it up into turn number 8, but he's going to be in half
the podium here. Morbidelli's right on his tail as well. He's just started to warm up a bit as well.
On the brakes, it's so hard to pass the Ducati. Certainly in these parts of the circuit where they've probably got a 10
drying at the moment just to build a bit of a gap over Dovi in 3rd.
They can do. The problem last weekend, I think 9 of Yamaha's 10 podiums this year have come from front row start.
From Joan, you'll see Fabio Quartararo bolting right in a moment. Oh yeah, he's trying to
Maverick Vinales, didn't he?
Somehow Yamaha won't win.
Yeah, that big mistake from Pecco Bagnaia on the last lap of turn 1, that allowed Dovizioso Vinales
able to hold on to it now on the home straight, because that's a key move with
the front row. This was the moment. Look at that. Oh, the rear. Let's go. Big wheel spin.
How much speed that took in the straight, and he's now got Bravo,
of course, for Joan Mir. Simon, some thoughts on turn 1. Is that a wind affected crash, do you think, maybe?
Well, it's because there's a tailwind down the front straight, and the usual brake marker is over the limit.
Another place to Joan Mir. To further back, Fabio Quartararo as well.
Frankie Carcetti still able to stand in the garage and watch the action. Steve, you spoke to me a couple of times last
watch it. It's too nervous. He's nervous watching this right now.
Still got 21 laps and a bit to go in this
patient. What can Alex Rins do? Can he find a way?
At the back here is it looked like when Marquez was up the inside of it turn 3, where the Quartararo had a bit of a moment of airborne Petrucci.
Well, so far 4 laps, he's not even within half a second of the laps he's been posting so far this weekend.
It's the bridge. Rossi just cannot find his way through yet on the Ducatis ahead of him. He's going to have to take risks again on the brakes at the turn. Now, having to back off a little bit in the early stages of the race with those overheating front tyres. As the front grip come back, so is he about to mount a late charge as Marc Marquez swarms again all over the rear tyre and pushed it a little bit too much? Is he going to come under real pressure from the 2 Repsol Hondas?
Well, the man we've got to keep an eye on, isn't it? There's only one man now.
He's led this race right from the start, as maybe.
Yeah. Can he close the gap? Just to remind you, if the 2 Hondas finish in front of Valentino Rossi, would be the world champion. It's a mighty big ask.
Suzuki's in this position, races at the same circuit. These guys have all found a bit of extra speed. They're up as it stands, though. Mir would win the championship. And Franco Morbidelli out front, whose lead now is 7/10.
Morbidelli. Brilliant mid-pace in the 131s. Jack Miller, to be fair to him, is not that much slower. In fact, it's extending big time in this current lap number 7. Morbidelli already in the first 2.
Chase Franco Morbidelli, because he just doesn't seem to really put a foot wrong anywhere either.
The way he started the season in such spectacular fashion.
Because that gap's building between Pol Espargaro and Miguel.
An absolute horrendous again in the race here today.
As it stands, Joan Mir is Andrea Dovizioso.
Yeah, he's taking big chunks of time out of Mir right now, isn't he, Dominic?
Mir was they're trying to get this bike fixed, but it doesn't really matter. It's all done.
Fabio Quartararo knew last weekend that the Champions pace so out of kilter with the setup. They've tried more changes this weekend than they did in the whole Quartararo's been in this weekend. That deep, he's nearly struck oil. Is the man on the charge. through the third split now. He's within 1.7 seconds.
Point in the last 5 or 6 laps, it will be heart in the mouth for Suzuki as they edge.
Concentration, his focus, as Marc Marquez, we just saw Marquez sweep through the first corner. Marquez now is as close as we've seen him. We're on board with Marc Marquez down this long run to this first corner, hard on the brakes, sweeping through turn number 1.
Oh, very close to the action as well.
Lovely that enough as well to keep. It's like he's got
3 and 4th in the championship as things stand. There's still no 2020 Yamaha inside the top 10. He's in 11th.
In what is now a safe 4th place, he's quickly broken away from that chasing pack. Rossi in 2 laps has taken 1.6 seconds out of Andrea Dovizioso. Here comes Marc Marquez now.
Perfect time to ride on board then with the potential future world. Now between Joan and 2020 MotoGP glory. It's a 2020 that's has to get up the inside of. Was raging a one-man camp.
He's up the inside of another Ducati on this lap. He dispenses with turn number 12. He gambled to run that asymmetric front tyre. We were worried about it overheating on the right-hand side. Was that the issue for the factory Ducati man?
Easing out into the distance. Across the line we go with... There was never going to be any room if he blocked past there. He'd have the speed on the start-finish straight to prevent it.
Just been brilliant here. Down that start-finish straight. Who leads then by nearly 7/10 of a second.
There's so many stories in this, all because of... And there's still anything that can happen here.
And his lack of experience in particular in terms of tyre management on those moving away from him, slipping through his grasp. He's going to have it all on here to get on the podium.
Sorry, helpless Yamaha down the start-finish straight by 7.98.
And he's got through that grey area for the Aprilia, which hindered him last weekend. It was a slight 2 or 3 laps, that new Aprilia RSGP.
An excellent MotoGP race, a track limits warning for
using sectors 2 and 3 to try and eke out that gap where the Yamaha is strong with its agility.
They're really going to feel a bit rough. Doing such an amazing job in second, by the way.
That last lap, there are only 4 men in the 154s. With that medium front tyre gamble, he's got such a lack of knowledge and experience over a race distance on the latest man to pick him off.
The final turn we go, onto the home straight. Rins can get close, all he likes, to the tail end of picture.
Mia, absolutely nothing he can do about it. Free time on the straight for the Ducati.
There's still so much time left in this race though.
Got to say, Steve, it's been very impressive. The pace up quickly, got his hooks into this lead group.
By something on. Let's have a look at this then from Valentino Rossi. He's tried this a couple of occasions before and it's not gone well. This time...
Yeah, how much life has Rossi got left in his rear tyre?
On really used tyres as well. Yeah. So he knows that he can get to the end of the race and still deliver a pretty good...
Hit him, what, around lap 14 last weekend. Viñales, 54.846 from him on the last lap. That was half a second. 2 seconds behind Marti. Quite strong positions, and we do know, we keep saying it, yes, we know it's pretty well, they're very, very well, so expect the
sensors on Joan Zarco.
Cat is in front of him down that start-finish straight. He's not losing pace, it will certainly be having an impact on Ducati's top speed.
And Ducatis are still 1 and 2. On board here is that Joan Zarco, and through he goes
to 15 and just eased up the inside of Joan Zarco. It was still Jorge Martin.
Yeah, he said yesterday, it's my time to be a rookie again when I go out in the race. At the moment, he's not made any mistakes.
Yeah. Second invitation to pinch that second place back.
Yeah, if you're going to make a move on Zarco, you've got to make it stick. Have another go. It does stick.
Remind you of Moto2 2016, anybody? Zarco versus...
Factory Ducatis and factory Yamahas are 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th right.
Michelin rubber, Joan Zarco.
Being asked his first question here, desperately trying to find a way through on Jorge Martin. Go up the inside and take the lead of the race. No, again no. Rins have a look into turn 16. No.
And he's going to have to sit tight now, there's no way. Viñales really close. A nice standing firm.
Like underneath him that he feels he had last week. We've not seen any real progress made from number 12. Back through on the helpless, seem to drop back a bit.
Yeah, on that last lap there are only 4 men in the 154s. With that medium front tyre gamble, he's got such a lack of knowledge and experience over a race distance on the latest man to pick him off. But so Jorge Martin,
it was sort of around the halfway distance, wasn't it, where the Ducatis got, but he used his tyre up too much last week. Still the Pramac Ducati 1-2, still Jorge Martin on lap CP race.
Yeah, and riding like a seasoned veteran, not a man who's not even...
And the final turn we go. Still so much time left in this race though.
Got to say, Steve, it's been very impressive. The pace up quickly, got his hooks into this lead group and found some seriously good rhythm. That's why he's just on the fastest lap of the race.
He's on really used tyres as well. so he knows that he can get to the end of the race and still deliver a pretty good
Hit him, around lap 14 last weekend.
in this race after an epic start for the number 88.
The Gaffey's able to personal best lap of the race, a 1:40.069. It was only 300ths quicker than Quartararo ahead of him. Right on podium pace as well are the men in 7th and 8th, Bagnaia and Aleix Espargaro. They just exchanged 4
Down by Bagnaia, as Matt just mentioned, getting into his rhythm.
Jorge Martin after his high-speed spill yesterday, and that front went really quickly, didn't it, from underneath Joan's arm.
Never so easy to be distracted. Marquez
Wanted to be, then he got the perfect start, and now then can he execute plan A? Pecco Bagnaia thought that he'd get his head down there in the turn 15 as he tries to keep the pressure on Pecco Bagnaia. Face planted, head butted the tarmac.
Goodness me,
You know
that
what,
hurt.
That's just cruising behind.
Oh,
Miller's gone
goodness
down.
me.
He's had a big crash there coming out of turn 3.
He's okay.
Was big by Jack Miller.
He's pulled them all out! How has this happened? They're all down, there's 4!
What a nightmare! Now 4 of the top 5. Maybe the tyre air fence is on fire as well. Too eager on the throttle through Stoke Corner, launched over the high slide. Down he went. One of the factory Ducatis clattered into his Yamaha. Confined over the top of that Yamaha World Championship. Surely that has gone. What a massive moment, the 2019 World Championship.
Can you believe it? They're trying to get that bike out. They're looking to David now. I hope he's okay because he looked hurt.
Nowhere to go as a rookie. That was a rookie mistake. Just far too aggressive on a cold tyre. Oh, took a fair old whack there. He's had a massive moment on the rear tyres. He got on the gas coming through turn number 9. It cost him his drive.
Made up a couple of places on this.
To Squinner, 7th he started, and he's already clawed his way up inside that top 3. Marquez leads then by just under 3/10 of a second. Quartararo
Find a 9th place. Espargaro just behind these two, and then it's Alex Mungrip.
going to be hoping that that's a key choice for the second half of the race, perhaps when some of the grit ahead of him fades. Marquez then in position 8. Martin's actually got Pecco Bagnaia, hasn't it? It's not been the start to this Grand Prix that Pecco Bagnaia envisaged.
Back to Quartararo and Alex Rins just in the background there. Pecco Bagnaia has now got trouble in the form.
Maybe in full fuel tank still at this part of the race into turn 12. The Hondas have struggled in turn 12, stopping at the end of the back straight.
Wanted to close up on Alex Rins in the fight for 3rd as we come across the line then to complete lap 2. It's still Marc Marquez that leads, fastest lap ahead.
2:04.859, the best lap of the race coming in from.
This is the helicopter shots through the twists and turns, the changes of direction.
Yeah, got in there, full commitment. He was in a little bit lap here in Kota, who leads the way. There's been no overtake offered as yet from Fabio Quartararo. Rins still there, for 7/10 of a second.
I think on the grids, that qualifying certainly did not. The end then of lap 3, Martin is looking very good indeed and a proper threat. The rookie in 4th as we cross the line. He's a bit angry after what happened yesterday, isn't Suzuki, of Alex Rins ahead of Jorge Martin.
Rins knew the significance of making that move back on Martin immediately into the first corner, because Rins has got no chance, and then of course you run the risk of Marquez with Quartararo just gapping him a little bit, so that was might in it, wasn't there? There was no might in it. That was just effortless for Jorge Martin, just whacked the company as well. This is the battle for 7th.
In 5th ahead of his teammate. Around this stage of a race where Marc Marquez...
Yeah, so I'm kind of bunching up here that the pace is pretty slow, isn't it? They're doing sort of low 2:05s, the men at the front.
To escape right at this moment in time.
Yeah, normally at this stage in a Kota battle, Marc Marquez is normally about 2 seconds.
Simon, you got some views on the overtakes going on between Martin and Rins. Hang on a second. Oh, I thought Martin was going to have a look.
You've got to say at the moment he's doing an absolutely outstanding job. He didn't think he had this kind of pace. Moving through on Fabio Quartararo, who's going to be last on the brakes.
Quartararo unwilling to allow Jorge Martin to come through on him. In there is trying to make up 2 places in 1 and has done it. Can he get the bike stopped? Wow.
Yeah, this bodes well because he's got that hard rear tyre, which you would think in theory is going to give him the superior grip, the better grip. 6 next in his sights, his teammate Bagnaia.
Marc Marquez did say, look out for...
He's back up the inside of his fellow Spaniard. Now who's got the advantage? They sweep down the hill into this fast turn number 2. It's advanced in the 2:04. It's about half a second quicker.
Now past Bagnaia, so back
as he'll be hoping that Jorge Martin can start roughing up Fabio Quartararo here. And it's giving him that opportunity to just put a bit more daylight for turn 10 on lap number 6.
Martin get close enough to power past. I saw that a moment ago. He's through on Alex Rins. It's a 9/10 of a second gap between Marquez.
A field that's able to get into the 2:04s with the Repsol Honda man. So Marquez
is not something getting into his rhythm. He's 6th.
Struggling big time, Steve, on that last lap. Bagnaia did a 2:06.123. Wasn't Malaysians.
Just in the background there, you can see Espargaro is having a good ride. He's just moved up ahead of Enea Bastianini.
You can see how much time Binder was able to claw back on him in the braking zone for turn 12. Alex Rins likewise, he also was back in the box, but they're going the wrong way, unfortunately. Rins and Bagnaia.
The rookie, he learns so well on that 2-year-old Ducati. He's in 9th ahead of Pol Espargaro. Feature in his championship fight. 2nd place to Marc Marquez.
First corner to take 3rd place away from Valentino Rossi. The live World Championship standings, Rossi's lead will be cut down to 8 points heading to that final round in Valencia. Of course, it was 8 points, the gap between Rossi 9 years ago, and we all know what happened there between the American and the Italian. Can Rossi respond in his favourite braking zone, turn number 9? No, he can't. Not really struggling to go with his Ducati teammate. He's dropped down in 6th place.
Valentino Rossi made a decent start. There is that overtaking manoeuvre and turn one. He came from a long, long way back. Rossi tries to pull back up the inside, flick it left through turn 2 where it dips away. Just holds the advantage.
Going to run the pace of the top 6, and that's the reason why mechanical on that factory GP15.
For in the Monster Energy Yamaha garage.
A major issue. Right, MotoGP Grand Prix. Ducati haven't won here in 15 years, since 2006.
Ducati, of course, either. And after everything that's happened in the last few weeks, there would be on here. Simon, have you got any ideas as to what on earth has just happened?
The gap between Quartararo against another mid-one
with the Yamaha of Fabio Quartararo. I mean, it can't be tyres.
Tyres.
Yeah, has he overcooked the tyre?
We don't know. Oh, and he's wide there as well.
It's not the first time he's done that. He could be on for a 1-2.
Guys, if I had to guess, more on entry, more than exit.
Yeah, well, it was laps 6 and 7 where he really got the hammer down, wasn't it? Quartararo's just set his personal best lap of the race at 2:04.7, and he goes straight forward up the inside of Fabio Quartararo.
Oh, he's a bit wide indeed.
The championship chase has changed altogether.
Well,
unbelievable.
And that's sometimes does not quite go.
This one will really hurt Fabio Quartararo. It will sting.
So well out there. Here we go.
Fabio Quartararo is not racing at this point.
No, he's about to come fast as well. There's not going to be a podium here for Fabio Quartararo, which is cruel luck.
Absolutely brilliant. Superb. That was all set up through turns 11 and 12. Easy does it.
He could bolt.
Could be game over. Corner speed, he carried through 12
with the power of the Ducati, but he's not
over very quickly, because when this happened here in both her last, he's just set the fastest lap of the race, 38.114. We saw one of those aero wings,
isn't it,
Steve? It's now here, sectors 3 and 4, where the Yamaha just comes into its own. He'll stretch its legs.
He's looking good here. He's lining up a move surely into the final turn. Here he comes.
Can't drop behind the Ducati.
You've got the apprentice and the master in 1st and 2nd here. Then is likewise 9 places made on that opening lap from Alex Marquez from the very back of the grid.
Yeah.
Ducati sweep on through.
Oh, Mia properly mugged on Quartararo there. Ran the Frenchman well wide. Absolutely, got it nailed on the money. I just thought he might have been moving, but absolutely perfect start from the German, although he hasn't capped it. Also, really corner speed of the landscape's changed. Has not got the speed and the pace of Quartararo. He perhaps knows at the back of his mind there's nothing he will have for Fabio Quartararo.
Well, in the past, far more mature, he was wise. He took what he got. So you'd think that after the start of Ferraro,
it's another pressure that he's under. He said he's in the trenches. Well, he's digging himself out
to go up the inside and take the lead of the race. No, again though. Rider going so well like that to be passed on the straights time and time again.
8-7. He's now within 2 seconds of your race leader Jorge Martin.
Has broken away a bit. He's half a second clear, but the worry comes in the form of tyre life.
Yeah, keep himself in the lead. Well, we'll find out, won't we, over the next 20 minutes or so. Patty doesn't even need a slipstream. As soon as I can do, I said last weekend it was 1 week area of this new
GP race, but we're getting close to that point. Oh, no,
Marquez out wide at turn number 4. He got it wrong on the brakes down into turn number 4. Mistake by Marquez on the brakes into turn 4.
What an important mistake that could be. And closes up on Marquez. This is going to be very fierce indeed after the war of words on Thursday night. Closes up as they come into turn 9. 17 and a half laps to go. What a race already unfolding.
Half a second inside of Marc Marquez's race lap record set last year on the 2nd lap of this Malaysian Grand Prix. Now in 2nd place, he took full advantage of that mistake by Marquez up at turn number 4. We're back on board with Marquez through turn number 12 there.
So we've got the half race distance.
He's been pushing so hard in this race, Matt. So hard.
Yeah, it was last week in time.
At this moment in time in the race, at the halfway point, Aleix is falling back this as well. However, at the front, it is still a Pramac
black Ducati. General Manager Gigi Dall'Igna. In MotoGP history, we have never had, still plenty of life in this race, but that's exactly where we are.
He always does, waiting for the latter stages of the race, and he's there. He's right behind.
A couple of laps ago. Although he's got a big problem coming his way. We don't have a Ducati top 3, we could potentially have a Ducati top 4.
Takes third place, he's up the inside of Marc, tries to squirt it back through 5, the inside line. Going backwards in a MotoGP race,
It was a hard move, was pretty frustrated.
Well, Mir knew it was to close that gap down in 10. It's not that far away. Mir went wide. Oh, blimey, I couldn't see what happened there. I'll have to have another look at that. And he's closing on this group. He is closing. Second time to come here in this race, isn't there? You just feel that there's going to be a proper brawl going on. And one. Quartararo is looking quite tidy, isn't he? Lap time 1-5.
He's looked strong all weekend. 8 to go.
Fabio Quartararo, who we're on board with, looks like the danger man. The problem he's got is he's got 3 Ducatis mentioned in the infield and find a way through on them. But if he can, he's got the pace to win Fabio Quartararo right now.
And that's allowed Maverick Vinales through. And when you look at of course, for Joan Mir. Simon, some thoughts on turn 1. Is that a wind effect he crashed?
Pace to Joan Mir. To further back, Fabio Quartararo as well.
Frankie Carcetti still able to stand in the garage and watch the action. Steve, I think he spoke to me a couple of times last.
Watch it, it's too nervous. He'll be nervous watching this right now.
Still got 21 laps and a bit to go in this occasion. Picks him straight back up and says, I'll have the place back, thank you very much.
That was a move, closing in on the pair of them. They do not want that Ducati in front.
0.5 second deficit on Quartararo, he's gone. Quartararo, a 38.119. Last lap, Quartararo was faster.
Yeah, and you can see how impatient Vinales is now to try and get through.
So far this year to Maverick Vinales. He ran wide last weekend to surrender the lead to Quartararo. Silly mistake for Maverick Vinales. Is he going to find a way up the inside of turn 6? No, he's not close enough.
Yeah, notoriously always been a demon on the brakes, hasn't he?
Vinales
has got to get through. Yeah. Here he comes, up the inside. Can he get it stopped this time? He cannot outbrake.
To Maverick Vinales as he sees Fabio Quartararo stretching away. Again, Quartararo in sector 3. He's 3/10 quicker in sector 3.
Was that Vinales having another pop and it went slightly wrong because he's just lost a bit?
Because he's so superior in terms of his rhythm. Again, that last lap, 6/10 quicker than in a complete class of his own.
They give a shout out to Alex Rins at the moment. He's 1 place ahead of Cal.
Some leathers on today, testament to their willpower and determination.
Yeah. Another 38.4 for him.
7/10 quicker than he's going to be 3.7. He's got the 2 Pramac Ducatis ganging up behind him as well.
If he just finishes the race, he'll
to be denied the chance to fight for your first MotoGP podium. Fully out of your control.
Holds on for the 2 men who unfortunately have had mechanicals and gone out of this one.
That's just cruel in the extreme. An absolutely phenomenal race. He didn't make a mistake. Did not make a single mistake. He was cruising in Rossi.
He had excellent drive out of turn 5. He's putting.
Will he just think, you know what, you can have that second place, Vinales. I'm going to be back on the podium. I'm not going to take it in Grand Prix. Here's the battle raging for second. Quartararo is about 7-8 seconds clear. Straight away, he's been able to gap sector 3 and sector 4. Cares all in. He's taken another 3/10 out of Vinales.
Vinales has got to get through it. Yeah. Here he comes, up the inside. Can he get it stopped this time? He cannot outbrake.
Oh! He's wiped them all out! Vinales is down. What a nightmare. Out 4 of the top 5.
Who was wiped out there himself by a few years back.
What an absolute shocker from what was he thinking? He took out Vinales outside, tried to avoid it all. And when it's all said and done, the only man he didn't take out leads the race.
Well, we thought there was friction. He's done him a favour, hasn't he?
But he's over 5 seconds back of the. This is where he picked off Hernandez on the last. On the charge. Then second place is only good enough. Up into 11th place. He's on the fringe of the top 10. Next inside 6th place. Whoa. And he's up the inside of Bautista as well. Super aggressive. Get away. That's got to be the big question in terms of the outcome of this World Championship. He's up the inside of another Ducati on this lap. In the top 10 for the first time. Almost half a second clear now to 9th place. His next in sights is, but he's 1.3 seconds behind. Taken 0.3 of a second in the first 2 splits out of. In fact, he's now taken half a second, and he's coming right up now on this battle involving. Look up the inside, thought about a look up the inside. Marc Marquez for the 2nd lap in a row has just put in his personal best of the race, a 1:31.455. He's doing everything. But the inside, Rossi takes 3rd place. He's up the inside of Marquez. Rossi makes it stick. Rossi back up in the 3rd. Marquez tries to squirt it back through 5. Rossi's got the inside line. Rossi 3rd. is the number 93. He'll lose the MotoGP crown at the end of this race. He knows that, but he's doing his utmost to put pressure on. Desperately clinging on in third place. On the brakes, going down into that turn number 8. He picks off Smith. The gap now 10 points between. Are the Hondas, though, going to run into those front tyre issues? Is Marquez on the hand side of the tyre going to start overheating? We'll find out very, very shortly, because the gap's out again to just over 4.5 tenths of a second.
He's not in a position now that he's got to take things. I feel like he's going to start taking unnecessary risks. Runs wide again, another run.
It was another 31.4 at front, whose lead now is 7 tenths.
So in terms of wins this year, when it was Fabio Quartararo, so that'll be a bit of a scalp. Emilia's about the performance of the 2020 bike, but Yamaha right now on course for their 7th win of the
So strange, isn't it? Across the line here we go then to complete lap 7. If you're thinking, how are Suzuki's in this position? Racers at the same circuit, and these guys have all found a bit of extra speed. They're up as it stands though, Mir would win the championship.
What is going on?
Perhaps seen as a problem. Is there a team communication to it? As he looked down at the dash,
He comes through. There's how he can continue like this, and I'm worried for him as well, because he clearly does not know.
How did a
Rins, it's a 9/10 of a second gap between Marquez and Quartararo.
big mistake to throw away 20 points?
Yeah, I completely agree. Completely agree. There is Bagnaia and Rhythm, the rookie. He learns so well on that 2-year-old Ducati. He's in 9th.
We know tonight he engaged the launch control on that factory GSX-RR. Yeah, the Bagnaia 10th through the first sector. They completely missed the start.
That leads. It's a Pramac Ducati 1-2.
Medium front tyre, a journey into the unknown for the 4K. Briefly to third on the run down to first corner, but he's already struggling to run the pace at the front. He's been picked up by
To the start, finish straight then to complete the first lap.
right now. He's 21st on the grid, 21st over the line at the end of the first lap. No progress made by the doctor.
And the 2 Ducati sweep on through.
Oh, Mia properly mugged off Quartararo there. Ran the Frenchman well wide. Absolutely got it nailed on the money. I just thought he might have been moving, but absolutely perfect start from the German, although he hasn't captured. Also, Alex Rins is the man to keep an eye on in 4th place. He's just set the fastest lap in your race leader.
Yeah, the rookie at the front doesn't really look like he's facing.
Was just as good. I mean, he was almost 30-40
there's a
meters.
move.
That's beautiful.
That's
Buddy.
a second on board with you, seen all of that unfold.
You know, Martin had 20 or 30 metres, didn't he, on the... and just got through as well.
Yeah, that was clever from Rins. He knew that the momentum was lost there from the Aprilia. He goes through into 3rd.
This was quite strong. He's got Mir swarming all over. There's no way that Rins is going to catch any slipstream to power by the 2 Ducatis in front of him down that start-finish straight.
Wide. It's way too high into turn 1. Oh, big scare.
Mir merciless and war. It was a hard move. Was pretty frustrated.
Well, Mir knew it was to close that gap down in 10th.
Huge drive down the heat being turned up under the light.
To turn 1. Quartararo is looking quite tidy, isn't he? Lap time 1:5.2. He was 6 tenths quicker than the world champion on the last lap.
He's not losing pace. It will certainly be having an impact on Ducati's top speed.
And he's got the pace to win Fabio Quartararo right now.
And Quartararo just picks him straight back up and says, I'll have the place back, thank you very much.
That was a move. For leads, ladies and gentlemen. The rookie on lap 15 probably cannot believe his eyes. He said, I'm going to learn so much behind
The moment, a very forlorn figure down.
bringing his former teammate into this matter. Mir went wide. Oh, blimey, I couldn't see what happened there. I'll have to have another look at that. That was off, fellas. Hats off. Quartararo in 4th.
You would know this.
He could win this. Yes, that is not beyond the realms of possibility, and I think, Matt, we are well on.
Down to Stefan, 4.203 seconds. This is MotoGP, folks. Not
Pass. Great. He's done it. That's 1 Ducati gone. He's up into podium positions now. He chases down. Get blasted on the start-finish straight.
There's absolutely nothing he can do to respond. Same with the slipstream behind the factory Suzuki in that braking zone for turn.
Winner from last week, Maverick Vinales there. Is now on the tail of Alex Rins, and he can sniff a...
Rossi only 9 seconds off the pace. He'd be comfortable in the points. He's 18th. That's how close. In the dry MotoGP, you can't really discount anybody out of the top 10.
Still in P1.
Yeah, and his pace isn't dropping. He's still able to lap in the mid-155s. The expo into the first corner,
he says.
but he can't pull it up on the brakes and misses the apex. Quartararo sees his 3rd place.
No, it's been such an impressive rookie display, and only really the true greats have ever been able to
Way into podium contention as well. The Pramac Ducati 1-2, pretty much from the get-go.
here comes Quartararo. Can he hold on to it though? That's the key, isn't it now, for Fabio Quartararo?
LeBlur on LeBlur.
Still holds an 0.8 of a second advantage. There was Rossi, a little bit slow coming out of turn 9. He's under pressure from Marquez, but Marquez is having pretty major front end grip issues in the early part of this race. He's already succumbed to Rossi at turn number 4.
You see what Marquez did there, it just compromised his
18 and 17 and again, and this time he will be close enough to make another move and maybe lead into turn 1.
Marquez then on this current lap, it's enough on the brakes into the first corner.
Cannot do it.
Yeah, and losing 3 places already is Fabio Quartararo on the front row in 3rd place. He's been nudged back. Good first lap. Have had there exactly what they wanted. Aleix Espargo and Joan Mir in 4th and 5th place through turn 17. The last 2 corners have been weak points all weekend for Fabio Quartararo, and he's going backwards at the moment.
Quartararo. Alex Rins then has made up 5 places. He's into 15th, but he's got a long way to go.
The wrong way. In a MotoGP battle, Binder's going to give it back to him on the brakes in the first corner. That's going to be tight.
That is tight. That's very Marquez out front. He's expecting a top 10 of himself here today.
Pulling back down to about half a second. Mir at the moment's not been able to show Marquez closes right up into turn 12. 2 men had great pace on well-worn soft rear tyres. Held it briefly, but he's down in 19th.
Named after Marc Marquez, he's in 2nd, chasing Bagnaia. He's in a factory Ducati sandwich for Joan Mir and Jorge Martin, and then another gap back to Fabio Quartararo. Is losing time.
48.6, which was only a whisker slower than Bagnaia. Just now, of course, he's got to try and find his way back onto this lead battle without
GM rider who comes into this with 2 top 8 finishes in his back pocket. He's on the grids.
Yeah, I suppose the jury's out on Rins' prospects about how much further he can overstress maybe that rear tyre, overheat it in these hot ambient temperatures, hot track conditions as well, particularly on the left side.
That maybe the
Quartararo Miller exchange high 137s yet again
in 2021. Written brilliantly. He loses a couple of places and then he comes on strong again. The same happened
that's for 8th place. So Alex Rins is the man to keep an eye on in 4th place. He's just set the fastest lap in your race leader.
The rookie at the front doesn't really look like he's basically
was just as good. I mean, he was almost 30-40 minutes. Alex Rins having worked his way through quite early on here.
This will be heartbreak for 7 laps to go now. As Fabio Quartararo crosses the line. It might yet be a few more cool moments for 1 or 2 riders as yet.
The guy's core temperature will be off the scale. They'll be gasping for breath, just inhaling red hot air off.
To turn 5, he's not quite close enough. Now he's got to try and just get the drive. They're coping with the bumps very, very well.
Thought he was going to be strong in the second half race. He could still well be with that Michelin hard rear tyre, but this man at the moment operating in a class of his own.
Again though, you have to hand it to Fabio Quartararo, don't you? Emilia here is closing now on hard rear tyre, but he is just struggling at this particular stage of the race.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's not looking confident at the moment on that factory Ducati. He's got his hands full here. Kilo, the lesser chance he has of then trying to reel back in. His weekend has kind of unravelled in that 15-minute Q2.
He succeeds.
His hands full to cut that gap. He's got to find 2 seconds. Physical wide,
in complete control, 3.6 seconds up the road ahead of Fabio Quartararo, the World Championship leader. He's done what he's failed to do in the past. He's remained consistent. He's made the bad days seconds.
3.5 seconds clear of Fabio Quartararo, who's then got a big buffer. This man's victory charge just hasn't materialised right from the get-go.
Ducati's closing on the tail of Brad Binder in the battle for 8th. Here is Marc Marquez de Martin, so the valiant effort from the rookie on the Pramac Ducati.
Has he got some kind of problem as a customer now? He's under immense pressure.
We've got it, big style. The talking stopped now. They're talking out on the track.
Who in that top 4 that dropped back into the 130s on that previous lap. We're about to complete lap number 18. Made on the brakes at turn number 4. Great block pass on the brakes. He's run wide a couple of times there. I'll tell you what, burn up his tyres as he tried to make that break out the front. We'll find out in this final dramatic 8.5 lap. Brilliant job. Can't speak highly enough of the job being done by the 20-year-old Spaniard. Suzuki is losing about 20-25 horsepower against those 2 factory Hondas. It just shows how hard. And then it's Rossi a further 2 tenths back. This is built up for an intriguing final 8 laps.
Yeah, he was worried about trying to stay with Marc Marquez. Now he's going to have to worry. This could be a massive 8 laps in the championship. He can bring Rossi along and perhaps pass, hanging on by his fingertips at the moment as they come through the southern loop. And now they come down to the Stoner corner. It's closing all the time. And Rossi says, I'll just stick in there, thank you very much, and see what happens when we arrive.
Siberia. They'll complete the second split now, coming under really big pressure.
You can't really discount anybody out of the top 10.
Still in P1.
Yeah, and his pace isn't dropping. He's still able to lap in the mid-155s. The expo into the first
you
corner,
don't, he says.
but he can't pull it up on the brakes and misses the apex. Quartararo sees his third place.
No, it's been such an impressive rookie display, and only really the true greats have ever been able to
Way into podium contention as well.
We thought it might be a battle between Ducatis and Yamaha. Obviously made the mistake earlier.
It's been a pragmatic Ducati 1-2 pretty much from the get-go.
Here comes Quartararo. Can he hold on to it though? That's the key, isn't it, now for Fabio Quartararo?
Confident, supremely confident. Did 12 laps in the mid-55s last night in FP4. Yeah, Quartararo up the inside of Martin at 10-15 metres back. Nothing Quartararo could do. Quartararo got brilliant drive out of that final corner. Thing he can do about the Ducati power. Steve, this is lap 19. It looks like the less than 2 seconds, and the win moving away from him, slipping through his grasp. He's going to have it all on here to get on the podium.
Steve, you just said what I was thinking. I can't believe how well Jorge is
So late on the brakes and carrying such good corner speed in 15.
Is going to have a proper battle on his hands here with his teammates.
Won't want to be beaten over the race distance here tonight. Had so good on the brakes.
Or has it come off his bike?
I think that might have been already on the circuit, you know.
Yeah.
Let's just hope that that's not going to cause any late problems. Absolutely, on a different level.
He deserves it. There's no doubt about it. He deserves it. There's a good battle going on here for fourth, and that's all it will.
Got this in his pocket.
Charging through, surely into second place. There's defence coming from Franco Morbidelli, but he's helpless. Through goes Mir into second place with 2 laps to go.
There could be late heartache coming here for Franco Morbidelli, because all over his rear tyre now is Alex Rins. The Suzukis have got the better speed at this stage of the race. The Suzukis, we know how much they nurse their tyres. Tyre durability is one of their key assets in this MotoGP battle. And now Franco Morbidelli, much since the first corner when Martin got his dream launch off the line. Jorge Martin still on course.
He knows that he's got to try and build an advantage here. He have the speed on the start-finish straight to prevent laps remain.
Quartararo's just been brilliant here. Down that start-finish straight, Quartararo leads by nearly 7/10 of a second.
So many stories in this, all because of there's still anything that can happen here. Martin,
and his lack of experience in particular in terms of time.
It was personal off the track on Thursday, it's personal on the track on Sunday here in Sepang. Right straight back through turn number 5. Brave move by the 36-year-old. This is brilliant, epic battle between the old warhorse and the new master.
What a race for third place, back into third place, through 7 and 8 they come. Rob may line him up at turn 9, he's got to get a little bit closer than that. Here they come up towards turn 9. Crowd are going completely and utterly crazy. I'm sure you are back at home. This is the battle we wanted after everything that's happened this weekend, and we are getting it.
There was no way through. 0.7 back for Hotley. What he has to do on this last lap, he's reeled off back-to-back 55-1s to make a crucial gap.
Will be nervous for Francesco Guidotti. Fabio Quartararo, if he doesn't put the Monster Energy Yamahas versus the Pramac Ducatis, now you've got to believe. Here he comes now. Up to second. Goes down. First time in this race. Jorge Martin.
Yeah.
It is.
There's
unbelievable.
Fire from the Ducati.
Oh, what a dramatic start.
Clattered into his Yamaha. What early drama.
Down, the bike's on fire.
Maybe the tyre air fence is on fire as well. Too eager on the throttle through Stowe corner. Launched over the high side. Down he went. One of the factory Ducatis. What on earth has happened there? It's on the fastest part of the destroyed. It looks like, hopefully, motorcycle went flying through turn number 3. And now Franco Morbidelli just desperately trying to hang on to the podium late on now.
Flag is ready here. He won his first ever Grand Prix here 2 years ago. He got his first ever podium here just 1 year ago. He's back to his best. He's on top of the championship again. Fabio fires up once more and wins here. He wins here at Sepang. A brilliant second place. Ahead of the 2 Suzukis. Brilliant job from them. Franco Morbidelli will be gutted. He loses out on a podium place in 4th.